Your angels do not lie, so if you're watching this, it's for a reason. You are ignoring all of your signs from your angels. Stop thinking it's just a coincidence. It's not. That's exactly why you were sent this. You're going through a transitional period right now. Know you feel that something's about to happen for you, and it is. Stop being nosy is what your angels are saying. Just allow it to happen. I feel like this could be a wish fulfillment, but to be honest, I feel like it's bigger than a wish fulfillment. Something that comes out of the blue. Angels are saying to save this in your camera roll so you can remember to come back here, because your life is not going to be the same soon, and you're going to be thinking, oh my god, that girl was right, except you're not, which is why you need to keep it in your camera roll. And all messages from your angels that I'm getting for this message is a snake. I believe this is because you're shedding your old skin and stepping into a new one. Showing me some sort of stitching. Could have ripped something as well, and you have to get it stitched. Maybe you're sewing. And a sunflower. Love and light.
Is this the actual law that we live under? Well, watch this.
So the custom of the people living on a particular piece of land is called the law of the land.
Okay, got it.
But there is also a larger, far more important law on the earth. It's called the law of the sea, the law of the water. And when you get into, and that law is referred to in courts as maritime admiralty. Maritime admiralty is the law of water. Once you understand the law of water, it opens up a world of occult hidden symbols and hidden foundations on how we live.
What are some of those laws that we're not aware
of?
Oh,
my goodness! When you walk into a courtroom, why do you go to court? You play basketball on the court. You play tennis on a court.
Right.
Yeah. How do you play tennis on a court? You play with a racket. Come on. And so when the judge walks out, he rules from the bench, right? Look it up in a Latin dictionary. The word bench is a bank in Latin.
Oh.
And so the judge is ruling for the bank. That's why he wears a black robe, because the black robe represents the planet Saturn, the god of banking and law.
Oh.
The black robe represents the planet Saturn, who in the ancient world was called Lord of the Rings. So that's why when you go into a court, you have a fence and a gate. The people sit out here and the judge sits inside. The gate is called a floodgate. When you go through the canal, you have a floodgate.
Right.
So when you're sitting out here, you're in the law of the land. The judge has no control or no jurisdiction over the people sitting out here. No jurisdiction whatsoever.
Right, because they're outside the gate.
That's outside the gate.
Right, right.
That's on land. Right. But when you walk past that gate, now you're in hot water. And someone's gonna have to bail you out.
Bail, yeah.
Okay?
Talking about a spell. We're talking about magic here. Okay, so even movies, that's why they call it movie. You're being cast into a spell.
Ever wonder why your children are easily influenced by what they see on TV and the music they hear?
We can talk about a TV program. They call it a program because you are being programmed, right? And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is really trippy right now. Let me change the channel. Whoa, channel, right? A TV channel means you are channeling in information. The question is, where from? Then I said, okay, this is getting really trippy. Let me grab the remote control. Whoa, 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 whoa. Remote control? I am being controlled remotely. Okay? So, words have hidden meanings.
Okay, this is gonna sound crazy, but I don't need people. The government's gonna create a fake alien invasion. I know that sounds crazy, but it's what's going to do. It's going to create a united front with the world. And we have technology already from decades ago that they're going to implement in our society. That's what the Space Force was created for, to use this new technology and pretend like it's brand new, but we've had it for decades. But we can't tell the people that because the technology we have is gravitational manipulation, which will create free energy, which will make gasoline, oil, electricity all obsolete. But our human race isn't ready to adapt that yet. And it will drive the human race insane trying to adapt it. So what is one way to make them force this adaptation? An alien invasion.
I don't know about you, but to me this is definite proof that advanced ancient civilizations did exist. Number 1, the Hathor Temple in Egypt, where there is a carving known as the Dendera light, which is a carving of a snake in a bottle and a jet pillar that perfectly resembles the light sources we use today. The snake in the bottle resembling a wire inside of a bulb, and the jet pillar resembling a box that acts as a receiver for this electrical energy. Extremely similar to modern electric technology. Number 2, the Pyramid of the Feathered Serpent in Teotihuacan. During a dig in 2003, an archaeologist found something very strange at this pyramid. He discovered a perfectly cylindrical shaft leading to underground passages beneath the pyramid, where they found these: a strange jade crystal mask, crystal eyes, and large quantities of liquid mercury, an extremely rare conductive element that we use in electronics and in vehicles, which is the same exact thing that 5,000-year-old Sanskrit texts say the gods use for their flying vehicles. Basically fuel for their flying craft known as vimanas. Keep in mind, this temple is made to honor a feathered serpent god which came down from the sky. Number 3, the Mayan astronaut. On the tombstone of the Mayan king known as Pakal, which is under his pyramid, is inscribed a date which is older than the oldest Mayan city, which is Palenque, and obviously older than the pyramid itself. But the strangest part about it is the machine that is depicted on the tombstone, which Pakal is driving. He's driving with his 2 hands, his nose is connected to a wire as it was somehow giving him oxygen, and the fire coming out of the bottom of the ship. You're seeing this too, right? Same ship, different places, different gods, different faces. What the fuck is going on?
Okay, well, let's talk about how a lot of y'all don't even realize you're supporting Satanists. Let's talk about Jay-Z. And I ain't said nothing yet, so don't get in your feelings. I know a lot of y'all worship this man. Let's just go over a couple things and you guys be the judge. Jay-Z is always making this sign, right? Yet nobody really knows what it means. Y'all just throw it up out of ignorance. What could this sign possibly actually truly represent? Oh, I think I know. That, my friends, is a Freemason sign, with the all-seeing eye in the middle of it. The actual Mason sign has a G in the middle of it. But what is a Mason? This is something you can't even ask Masons because they're sworn to secrecy. So let's dig deeper ourselves. How is it that the Mason symbol lines up exactly with the Satanic symbol? It's because Masons are secretly Satanists, and a lot of them don't even really know it. This says, "Do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law." In other words, do what you want to. Now, where did that saying come from? It came from this demonic lunatic, Aleister Crowley. Dun da da da. Check out Jay-Z's sweater. Do what thou wilt. Do what thou wilt was on the Satanic symbol, right? Now, who started the Satanic Church? Anton LaVey. And look at the sign he's holding up. It's getting deeper now, ain't it? Anton LaVey again, throwing up the rock sign. My friends, why is Jay-Z throwing up the same sign as the man who started the Satanic Church throwing up? Who also made the Satanic Bible? I'll tell you why. Here goes Jay-Z in the Mason Lounge with Mason Brothers. Check this out. This is the Order of the Eastern Star, a Masonic sign. Now you tell me what it looked like. If you guessed Satanic symbol, you guessed right. They're one and the same, people. Freemasons are Satanists. Satanists that are sworn to secrecy. And let's just be honest, Freemasons don't sound as bad as Satanists. However, they're one and the same. And almost every one of your favorite celebrities is one of them. Check this demonic mess out. What's it say at the top? Do what thou wilt. They don't hide nothing. It's right in your face. They think that you are stupid. The word of God says, "My people perish because of lack of knowledge." You have eyes but don't see. Stop ignoring what's right in front of your face. One of Jay-Z's clothing lines with the all-seeing eye at the top. Jay-Z's lyrics: "Jesus can't save you, life starts when the church ends." People really be in the concert rapping that. Satanists hate Jesus, and they own everything. Why do you think almost every movie has the name Jesus in it, but they say it in a derogatory way? They're subconsciously brainwashing you. Why does Jay-Z call himself Jehovah? Sounds similar to Jehovah. Coincidence? I think not. Answer something else for me. Why is Jay-Z with this witch? Complete witch. Complete witch. Why is he with her? This is who a lot of y'all look up to, right? And what happened to innocent Beyonce? This ain't art. It's symbolic, people. Y'all gotta stop worshiping these people and open your eyes. Let me show y'all something. You remember this performance? This outfit Beyonce wore? This is the Horror Babylon robot from the 1927 movie Metropolis. Look at the symbol in the back. This is a replica of that outfit. Coincidence? I think not. Check this out. Beyonce's drummer of 7 years, Kimberly Thompson, quits and filed a restraining order over extreme witchcraft. Y'all open your eyes yet? Or y'all still worshiping these people and you too blind to see?
I raised my hands up. I felt something else come into me.
Yeah, that was a demon.
There's a new force of nature at hand, stirring all over the world. They are the young people whom, frankly, we have failed, who are angry, who are organized, who are capable of making a difference. They are a moral army. And the most important thing that we can do for them is to get the hell out of their way.
Part 1.
Is it just because people are lazy today or they're bored? I mean, are we just like bored, spoiled children who've just been lying in the bathtub all day, just playing with their plastic duck, and now they're just thinking, well, what can I do? Okay, yes, we are bored. We're all bored now. But has it ever occurred to you, Wally, that the process that creates this boredom that we see in the world now may very well be a self-perpetuating, unconscious form of brainwashing created by a world totalitarian government based on money? And that all of this is much more dangerous than one thinks? And it's not just a question of individual survival, Wally, but that somebody who's bored is asleep, and somebody who's asleep will not say no?
In late 2002, the Pentagon, using satellites with ground-penetrating radar, would discover a large spherical-shaped cavern with a tunnel leading up to it in the Busegi Mountains of Romania. Now normally they would look past something like this and not think much of it, but recently they had made a similar discovery in the undergrounds of Baghdad, Iraq. The only difference, the one in the Busegi Mountains was much larger, and the mountains had a sphinx nearby. Yes, you heard me, a sphinx, just like the one by the Giza pyramids. So the US would work with Romania and they would both investigate the anomalies. And what they would find would change the course of history as we know it. As the teams approached the entrance in the side of the Busegi Mountains, something would activate. It was a large force field blocking the entrance. Shortly after, one of the US officials would get a call. The one in Baghdad activated as well. So when one activated, so did the other. Initially, 3 soldiers would try to walk through the force field, but they would die of a heart attack instantly. So the officials would have to take a different approach. In order to deactivate the force field, you had to reach a higher state of consciousness. It took quite some time to discover this, but eventually, many were able to do it. When they finally reached the dome inside the cavern, it also had a force field around it. They opened it the same way. In this, what they would later call the projection room, they would discover perfectly cut large tables and chairs, much too big for present-day humans. They would find over 30 ancient texts written on tablets. When you slid your hand across them, almost as if a smartphone, they would display a holographic image of the origins of the Earth. Not only that, it displayed every creature that's ever inhabited the Earth and how they came to be. Another station would allow you to mix DNA of any 2 creatures on Earth, then produce a holographic image of what they would look like. The room would have 3 doors, one going to the Giza Sphinx, the other going to Mount Kailash in Tibet. The third is said to have gone to inner Earth. That's not all. They would even find a large stone chair with what seemed to be attached to it a helmet. Right away you could see that the helmet was much too large for the average human being. The chair was set for a human about 10 to 12 feet tall, and the helmet would fit the head of this human. They figure it was an automated system that would get you to the highest state of consciousness immediately. Eventually, they would discover that it actually allowed you to use your astral body to time travel. As they proceeded, the discoveries would become even more magnificent. Continue downstairs to a lower level. Here they would notice a pillar-shaped chest in the middle of the room. After figuring out how to unlock it, they opened the lid. They would notice a beautiful white light emanating from the chest. Inside was a white dense powder. This would become known as monoatomic gold. This substance would cause a lot of diplomatic tension due to the fact that when consumed, this stuff could make you live for 1,000 years.
So a lot of people already know that Elon Musk has warned about AI technology, but I found a strange report. I don't know if it's true, but listen to it and let me know what you think.
At a top robotics company in Japan this week, 4 robots being developed for military applications killed 29 humans in the lab. And they did it by shooting what he called metal bullets. I didn't know there was any other kind. The scariest part is that lab workers deactivated 2 of the robots, took apart the 3rd. But the 4th robot began restoring itself and somehow connected to an orbiting satellite to download information about how to rebuild itself even more strongly than before.
This pattern can clearly go on forever. However, they always stopped after 19 circles. Why? Well, because they didn't want you to see what I'm about to show you. Back then, this image and knowledge was so sacred that they couldn't allow it to become common knowledge. It was appropriate at that time. However, now we either use the information or fall further into darkness. In biology, all cells have a zona pellucida around the edge. These circles around the flower of life are the zona pellucida of the flower of life. You must remove these, then complete the spheres that were cut off by the zona pellucida. With one more step, you will have the secret. Finish the drawing, add the final missing circles, giving you this. This image is the fruit of life. This pattern of 13 circles is one of the holiest, most sacred forms in existence. It's called the fruit because it is the result, the fruit, from which the fabric of the details of the reality were created. Remember when we talked about male and female energy, lesson 4? As you can see, this image is female. It has no straight lines. However, when you combine male lines with these female circles, something amazing happens. What you do is draw a straight line from the very center of every single circle to every other circle in this image. When you do this, you get an image which is known throughout the universe, everywhere, as Metatron's cube. It is one of the most important informational systems in the universe, one of the basic creation patterns in existence. So what is Metatron's cube? Well, anyone who has studied sacred geometry, or even regular geometry for that matter, knows that there are 5 unique shapes in the universe, and that they are crucial to understanding both regular and sacred geometry. They are called the Platonic solids. A Platonic solid has certain characteristics by definition. First of all of its faces are the same size. For example, a cube, the most well-known Platonic solid, has a square on every face, so all of its faces are the same size. Secondly, the edges of the Platonic solids are all the same length. All edges of the cube are the same length. Third, it only has one size of interior angles between the faces. In the case of the cube, this angle is 90 degrees. And fourth, when put inside of a sphere, all of the points will touch the edge of the sphere perfectly. With that definition, there are only 4 shapes besides the cube that fit that description. So what are they? Well, we have the dodecahedron, the tetrahedron, the octahedron, the isosahedron, and the hexahedron. All of these shapes are found within Metatron's cube. This knowledge is also where original alchemy came from. The ancient alchemists and great souls like Pythagoras, father of Greece, considered each shape to have an elemental aspect to them. The tetrahedron was considered fire, the cube was earth, the octahedron was air, the isosahedron was water, and the dodecahedron was ether. Ether, also known as prana, and tachyon energy are all the same thing. They extend anywhere and are accessible at any point in space, time, and dimension. This is the great secret of zero-point technology. The sphere is voidness. These 6 elements are the building blocks of the universe, and they create the qualities of the universe. To summarize, this is the first informational system that comes out of the fruit of life through Metatron's cube. In alchemy, they rarely discussed ether. I've read that in the Pythagorean school, if you even uttered the word dodecahedron outside of the school,